David Honey, it's really great to see you here tonight and supporting such an important cause. Is ADHD something that has touched any of your friends and family?
Yeah, look, in my own, in my family and also I've known a lot of people with ADHD, and I just think this report, as was mentioned tonight, is just a landmark because, and exactly as you were saying and as the other guest was saying tonight, this is an area where there's so much public speculation, I think hurtful speculation, and this is drawing a line in the sand. The NHMRC have said, no, not only is this a medical condition, but here is the best practice for the way that this should be dealt with. And of course it makes a recommendation, not just in the medical context, but in other allied services and in terms of the way government should approach this. So I just think this is a fantastic development that really sets a base for going forward to dealing with ADHD.
You heard Mark talking about Deloitte's $30 billion. That's what it's costing the country regarding ADHD. Does that mean there should be government money looking into this area?
Oh, look, there's a whole range of areas, and I know there are recommendations in the report for areas of expenditure. In particular, the helpline, and not just a helpline for parents is crucial. I think we heard the experience tonight, of the lady who went through and she was 47 until she was diagnosed. But so many parents see issues with their children, and you see children who are bright children, they're clever children, you talk to them, and yet their academic performance is poor. Parents don't know why, and schools put them down as just being naughty kids. And that really affects those children for the rest of their lives, well into adulthood. Do you know 30%, I found out today, 30% of the jail population are diagnosed as having ADHD. I mean, that just blew me away when you consider that around 3 to 5% of the population have ADHD. So clearly this has a major impact on not just people's lives, but on society at large. There needs to be much more investment and focus in this area. The helpline is one area to start with. Having teachers trained to recognise, not just to recognise, but to deal with the issue as well. Not all clinicians understand how to diagnose ADHD. This guide sets and there's a technical document as well that gives clinicians guidelines so that they can positively and affirmatively identify children with ADHD or perhaps some other developmental condition. So, this is huge. Just imagine if you could take the jail population back to in terms of ADHD sufferers, back to their representation in society is 3 to 5%. It would be the single most important thing any government could do to reduce the number of people in jail. I mean, that's profound. So this is, it's not overstating it. This is a really important document, and implementing the recommendations of it, and a number of them are around the justice system, are really critically important.
And it doesn't discriminate, does it, this condition? It can affect any family.
Absolutely not. And look, if you're a family that's got lots of money, then typically you can access the best specialist, and you can get the clinical psychologist, you can get the diagnosis, you can get the documentation to help with your children at school. But of course, for a great many families that are dependent on the public system, they're waiting 18 months or longer to get assistance. Meanwhile, their child is just languishing and not developing in the way that they should at school.
Deteriorating even.
Oh, well, absolutely, because there's, as we heard tonight, the self-esteem and the mental health issues, just become so apparent coming out of this. And that's understandable, because even the child themselves, they know they're as bright as the other kids, and yet they just can't perform at school, they can't control impulses as well. So, it really is important. I mean, someone pointed out to me today, the number of children suffering ADHD and the number of people suffering ADHD is substantially greater than the number of people suffering autism. Now, autism is a very serious and major issue in the community, and clearly a major issue for people and families who have children with autism or sufferers of autism. But ADHD does not receive a fraction of the recognition or support that the area of autism does. This is an area that needs major investment at both the state and federal government level.
All right, we're done.
Thank you very much.
Like you're tired too.
Oh, thank you very much.